The Lagos State government is key to improving its agricultural productivity, especially now that the nation seems to be going through a rise in prices of all commodities in the marketplace. The state's Commissioner of Agriculture, led by the state governor, are looking to empower over 3,000 entrepreneurs in the agricultural space with equipment that would help them multiply their productivity. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. Following the launch of its roadmap only a few months ago, action was demanded from the state government to stem the tide of insecurity in the agricultural sector. The state has gathered over 3,000 farmers from across the state in a bid to improve their production capacity.
It is our strong desire to help our serious and committed farmers to nurture their farming activities into viable and mature agricultural enterprises through a deliberate monitoring and control mechanism. Again, the focus of this year's program is primarily on three value chains: poultry, piggery, and fisheries, which represents the three subsectors mostly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the outbreak of zoonotic diseases such as the avian flu and the African swine fever. However, we have on ground other assets, as you can see, to aid other value chains like the red meat value chain, the rice value chain, and what have you. The Agricultural Value Chains Enterprise Activation Program has therefore been designed to provide smallholder farmers, fishermen, agro-processors, and marketers with agricultural inputs and productive assets, with the objectives of contributing to inclusive agricultural growth in Lagos State, creating access for beneficiaries to exit the poverty trap and reduce the number of people at the bottom of the economic pyramid, thus opening avenues for marketing of agricultural produce, and to provide a social safety net for youth, women, and the vulnerable.
This activation program is not cosmetic. It's not shere at all. What it means is that we are going to be providing our farmers with the needed capital, with the needed asset to scale up their business. And by doing so, if we succeed, it means that we are going to create more employment. If we succeed, it means that GDP will grow. If we succeed, it means that food security will be a thing of the past. It wouldn't be a risk anymore for Lagos State. That is our commitment from the Ministry of Finance, and we continue to support this initiative. And as you are being given the assets and the capital to start, we are not just going to leave you alone by giving those assets. We will make sure that we provide and partner to provide technical training, business essentials training, training on financial knowledge, and we are also going to commission a business monitoring framework, because we are not just interested in giving out these assets or capital, we are interested in the output. We are interested in the success.
Farmers.
To the former Commissioner of Agriculture and Oniru of Iruland, along with other dignitaries present, they say it is imperative to ensure the youth are gainfully engaged, especially in areas that will benefit the country.
When we want to talk about problems of urbanization, we must always look at the problems of the rural population. And agriculture is the major employer of labor in the rural and the peri-urban communities. But what will happen to the people of the urbanized world, the cities, the town, people that live in the towns? We thought of how do we encourage the people from Surulere, Lagos Island, even Shomolu then. How do we integrate them into the agric sector? They don't have land for farming, but they are in the agricultural value chain. That was why we decided that whatever fish that is produced from Ikorodu Fish Farm Estate or Araga or even Badagry, the people of Shomolu, the pepper soup sellers of Surulere, they can also benefit from the value chain empowerment. That was why we decided to be giving them this agricultural produce for them to process.
Over 47% of these goods are going to the youth. This is the time that you have the strength. Utilize that strength. You have time to go from one place to another. When you get this thing, please utilize it. This is not time for you that you be thinking that you want to have one program, I want to leave this thing to my friend or this and that. When you have a business, the best thing for you is to monitor your business very well. If you don't monitor your business and you give it to someone to supervise it, the business is going to end. So I want you to use that strength. And when you are having weaknesses on it, it's very easy for you. The government has been able to take up your weaknesses, which is money. So they have given you the product, which is your capital. Utilize it. So by the time has been said, next year or in 5 years' time, is going to increase our GDP in Lagos State. And the opportunity are here. And I believe the government will continue to do it.
The governor stressed on the need to meet the growing demand of food in the state as the state hopes to begin cultivating its own rice in the near future.
Lagos produces over 2 million heads of cattle per annum. Lagos has a need for about 260,000 tons of poultry, but will produce only 72,000. Lagos has the need for over 400,000 tons of fish, but will produce only about 174,000. And so you can see that gap, all of us need to feed it. We need to fill it in. That's why all of you are here today. Before now, we used to export pigs because we used to produce about 6,000 tons of pigs. But given all of these zoonotic diseases that has happened, we certainly cannot even produce anything close to that. Because from the 6,000 we produce, we consume only less than 150 metric tons of it. So there's a huge opportunity for us to scale up. There's a huge opportunity for each and every one of you to double whatever it is you're currently doing. Because even in Lagos alone, the market is available. The people are here and they can consume everything that you produce, even here in Lagos. And so the challenge will be for all of you to ensure that we all go back and we double our skill. And that's why the Ministry of Agriculture this year alone is providing this opportunity for you. But what are some of our roadmaps at ensuring that our 5-year master plan is on track? I'm sure you all know about our 32 metric ton per hour rice mill in Mota. This rice mill will produce 2.4 million bags of 50 kg rice annually, and it will create over 200,000 jobs at Imota. Well, we're believing that we should complete, and start production of this rice mill by the 4th quarter of this year, so meaning before the end of 2021. The Lagos Agripreneurial Program, LAP. This is a collaborative program that is aimed at training and retraining over 15,000 women, youth, and vulnerable Lagosians. We will engage you in quality food production with the utilization of modern technology in identifying agricultural value chains over the next 5 years. So far, we've done less than 5,000, and so we have a plan to take that to 15,000. The establishment of Lagos Food Production Center in Avia Badagry. This is meant to serve as an incubation center for graduates in the agripreneurial program, the Cage and the Pen Culture Project. This is meant to involve the production of fish in cages mounted in available water bodies. The goal is to accelerate fish production and job creation for women and youth, especially in artisanal fishing communities. In Afowe community in Badagry and Agbowa in Ekpe have already started benefiting from this initiative, through which we're targeting the production of at least 1,000 tons of fish per annum. The establishment of the Lagos Aquaculture Center of Excellence. That's the LACE project. This will be set up at Igbonla in Eredo LCDA. This is meant to be in partnership with the private sector, and when fully operational, the center will also produce about 2,000 tons of table-sized fish per annum. The Agro Production Processing Productivity Enhancement and Livelihood Support Program, which is the APPEALS project. This project is in collaboration with the World Bank, and it is meant to empower about 10,000 farmers in the states. The project will produce support for farmers and food processors engaged in rice, in aquaculture, and poultry value chain towards improved productivity. And in this regard, we have identified and verified more than the 10,000 farmers and MSMEs, with not fewer than 8,000 of them receiving relevant training in relevant areas of agribusiness. We also have the development of the red meat value chain. Available data indicates that Lagos alone accounts for almost 50% of the quality of beef consumed in Nigeria today. You can see during the last festive season how many trailers and trailers and trailers and trailers and trailers and trailers of Ileya ram we had to consume in Lagos alone. What this suggests is that Lagos is highly vulnerable to supply and the logistics, and disruption, any major disruption will create a shortfall in the supply. So arising from the disease outbreak and other causes, which we believe can potentially affect our production, we've launched what we call the Lagos Red Meat Value Chain Transformational Program. This is meant to attract the private sector participation in the value chain, which will stimulate local production and processing of meat.
The recent decline in farmlands across the country has coincided with the hike in the price of foodstuff. Governments will be hoping private investors return their glare to the farming business to the need of the populace. The All Progressives Congress World Congress went ahead as planned on Saturday in Lagos, despite question marks about the legality of the Mai Mala Buni-led caretaker committee. The chairman of the State Supervisory Committee also disclosed that elections will be conducted via a consensus of votes where winners can emerge by having a simple majority. Chairman of the Congress Committee in the state, Mohammed Dangiadi, urged members to maintain peace in order to reduce legal tussles ensuing from the party elections.
The venue of the Congress or the election of the members is going to be the APC ward offices. Utmost transparency is required in all elections. Therefore, in all respects, votes must be counted and results announced and recorded on the spot of the conduct of the election. In the event of any tie in any ballot, the election for that particular office shall be repeated for the tying candidates until a winner emerges. The winner of an election shall be determined by a simple majority of total votes cast and declared winner in an open view. This is the guideline as per the conduct of the elections. There are certain provisions that were made in terms of the ward party registers or membership registration forms, which should serve as the voter register, while the registration slip serves as the voter's card in each voting ward. Aspirants contesting for any post in the party must have INEC voters card. In addition to waivers granted to officers seeking for re-election, waiver is also hereby granted to persons who joined the party recently to vote and be voted for, provided that their names are in the ward registers. Accreditation of intending party voters for all congresses shall be conducted and approved by the respective National Congress committees at all levels.
The Lagos State government has taken the initiative to address information management and ensure its relevant public affairs units key into the new media as captured in the theme of this gathering.
Government's total reliance on you to effectively occupy this critical space is absolutely non-negotiable. It is therefore against this backdrop that I wish to encourage participants at this retreat to take full advantage of the opportunity provided by this forum to improve your knowledge, skills, and competencies as information management professionals, while making meaningful and impactful contributions towards achieving the set objectives of the exercise. The world is now more dynamic than ever, and the pace of change is faster today than it has ever been. Public affairs officers must thus keep abreast of international best practices while taking full advantage of the latest technologies in the performance of your duties. In order to remain relevant and impactful, always mindful, of course, of the highest standards of integrity, honor, and ethics.
We all know that the profession of communication, information management, and all its associates are one of the fastest changing in the world now. When people say technology has enabled our practice, I see us as a victim of technology. If you sleep today, when you wake up tomorrow, there may be an alteration to Facebook, something will have changed on Instagram, Facebook will, Twitter will have acquired different, features. So it means what you knew yesterday may not be enough for today.
The need to hone our skills and up the ante is clearly evident. We must teach and learn from one another. We must mentor our subordinates. We can do better as a family of information managers.
As information managers, to manage this change in the VUCA world, we will need to reimagine the whole concept of leadership. As organizations to recover post-COVID, current and emerging digital challenges provide exact opportunities for us to rethink the way we operate, the way we work, breaking from the limits imposed by outdated systems, mimeticking, and organizations' culture.
On the same page with the Gaussians, concerning government policies, programs, and activities, without effective information management mechanism, our plan to attain a greater Lagos might be in jeopardy. Hence, we shall continue to invest in the advancement of all our information organs. It is our firm conviction that the various information organs of the state have the capacity to perform more than they presently do. I urge all state information agencies to involve a process of building public confidence in the administration policies and programs, as well as strive to enhance popular participation of the citizenry in the government's activities.
Participants identified their roles in the success of any administration, especially in articulating the yearnings of the people and communicating the actions of government.
Having gone through the first half of this administration, you know that the second half, there is need to look at what has been properly done in the first half, what should be done in the second half. And you know that the second half of every administration in a democracy is a very volatile one. So we must know, learn more about strategic management of public information, of government information, ensuring that the mutual relationship that exists between government and the people is not eroded, but further strengthened.
One thing that is almost sacrosanct is that in today's world, in reaching our defined audiences, we have to make use of the new media. And our gathering here is about sharpening our skills so that in our interactions with the new media, we'll be on top of our jobs so that we can deliver in an optimal way.
Without us, I don't think anybody will hear anything outside there. It's like winking in the dark when nobody will see your face. So we are the face, we are the spokesperson, we are the one that is making the things to happen, we are the one that is making all the noise positively, we are the one that is showcasing all the things that is being done in Lagos State. And I'm very, very happy to be part of it.
For the Commissioner of Information, Gbenga Omotosho, it is even more imperative for public affairs officers to embrace digital means of communication, especially in curbing fake.
It's a changing world. Communication is fast changing. I mean, what you knew yesterday is not relevant today. And all of us should try to build capacity for us to be able to deliver to the admiration of Lagosians and all of the people who are watching us.
This retreat may provide the much-needed transformation of an information manager to turn towards public engagement as a tool of information dissemination. With new chairmen at local government and local council development areas, the state is now looking to chart a new course for its community development. The state governor is charging this new chairmen and women to do more to ensure that the dividends of democracy reaches the grassroots. 57 chairmen have emerged from the recent local council development areas elections in Lagos. All chairmen under the All Progressives Congress, along with their spouse and other dignitaries, are at the State House, Alausa, to receive their oath of office. The party leaders are elated at the success of the chairmen, but warn the work has only begun to retain the trust proposed in them by their electorates. The governor goes a step further, charging the chairmen and reminding them of the purpose of elections is not to spite the opposition, but ensure their constituents are not left behind in the developmental drive of the federal and state government.
As you all know, the local government is the closest tier of government to the people. Any gaps or shortcomings in the local government administration will be keenly felt by our people. As a result, the policies and the programs you will be implementing must be people-centric. It must focus on how to improve the life and the livelihood of our people. I therefore implore you all to continue with the provisions and the facilitation of service that will directly and positively impact the lives of the ordinary citizens on the street within your various communities. You are assuming your political roles as local government chairman and vice at a very challenging time in our national life and history. We are almost 18 months into the most destructive pandemic that the world has ever seen in over a century, with disastrous consequences for jobs, consequences for livelihood and various economies. No aspect of local, national, or global economy has been left untouched. Against this backdrop, therefore, our citizens continue to rightly clamor for and expect good governance from all of us. We should have policy making and implementation that will enable them to navigate these very difficult times and emerge from it all on a solid social economic footing. It is our responsibility and a burden as leaders they have elected into today to live up to that expectation. And I dare say to you that they're expecting so much from every one of you. More than ever before, achieving this requires the cooperation amongst all levels and arms of government. It is expected that you will all work with unity with other tiers of government to bring to bear the dividends, the real dividends of democracy on the life of our people. In all the relevant areas of construction and maintenance of inner roads, on waste management, on primary school education, on primary healthcare services, on security, on ensuring that drainage and floodings are avoided, and ensuring that indeed your welfare programs touches the life of the citizens that have elected you. This is not a time in which you want to alienate anyone that is not part of your group. This is not a time that you want to say that these are the people that have voted me in, these are the people that did not vote me in. This is not a time in which you want to be bipartisan. This is a time for real governance. This is the time for everybody that is in your community to feel the essence of governance.
The chairmen recount a long road to electoral success and hope to achieve their manifesto and campaign promises to their people.
Yes, we have freedoms, but individual freedom cannot jeopardize another person's freedom. So the freedom of the government and the freedom of the masses, we are going to put it beside each other to make sure that as government, we are not going to trample on the freedom of the people. And whatever be the, the responsibility of the people to the government, I expect them to do it.
We are going to make sure we impact in our community. We are going to make sure we empower our youth and our women. we're going to make sure we're going to key into infrastructure, because that is the key and that is what my local government wants.
And we want to consolidate some of our achievements. We have some uncompleted projects we are doing. Like we have 2 roads that is uncompleted, that is ongoing.
Despite the funfair, there was no mention of financial autonomy for the chairmen and women. The governor has, however, assured them of his unbridled support to make their respective constituents better. All local government and local council development area chairmen are flagging the same party flag as the governor and the president of the nation. It is now hoped by many Lagosians that this would mean more development in their respective areas and, of course, a listening ear to the needs and yearnings of those in those particular places. That completes our episode for this week. Until next time, I am Wilson Amoni, and this is Lagos.